You can leave that up there.
You sure? Okay.
There's been drinks in all the other ones.
A little H2O.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Do the little test one too, and I'll.
Oh gosh, this is weather.
Oh yeah, you sound good. You sound good.
Yeah.
You good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
Yeah.
My name is Angie. What you gonna do?
Podcast swimming through the avenue.
Well, my boy Spencer. Coming near you. I don't know.
Yeah, coming to a city near you.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of cities near you, welcome back to Grand Rapids.
Oh, thank you. We're just gonna jump right into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll do a little introduction. So, on today's episode of the Spencer Covey Show, we have Angie Nelson from Grand Rapids and Portland now.
Yes, the weird city.
And originally,
from Flint.
Flint. Yeah, that's right.
I'm a Flintstone.
Yeah, yeah. Angie is best known in Grand Rapids, I think, so far, as not only like a community organizer, but also like a
jack of all trades
and
master of none.
We met when you were at Amway.
Yes, you did.
I know it was the YMCA and we were doing those chair races out back, but I don't.
Oh, I thought we met before that.
Might have.
Perhaps.
I very clearly remember getting root beer floats at Rosa Parks from the hot dog stand, though, that day.
I don't have any memory of that.
I really like the root beer floats. They were like 50 cents or $1 or something like that.
Oh, gosh. Was this something that Amway was doing?
Oh,
okay.
No, but Amway, you were participating through Grid 70, I thought.
Oh, this was like a United Way.
Yep.
That was so long ago, Spencer. I can't
And we
remember
had
what
shirts.
I did yesterday.
We had shirts, matching shirts.
We did. There was like a whole competition, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
It's coming back to me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's
It's
chair
been a
races.
while.
You had a yellow shirt on.
So it's been at least a decade.
That's 10 years, yeah.
At least.
Minimum.
I think a little bit more, but
Yeah, 12 maybe.
yeah, let's not tell our age. Though.
Okay, yeah, no,
We
it
don't
was
wanna
just
age
yesterday, it
ourselves,
seems.
Yeah.
And you were there for quite some time, and then I remember you went to what was it?
Actually, so I was at Amway for 10 years,
Oh yeah,
and then I left for Experience Grand Rapids.
yeah. I didn't want to get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And
And then from there, I am now in the city of Portland, Oregon. Who would have thought?
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like what? Experience Portland,
No, it's Travel Portland.
Travel Portland. Get it right.
Get it right.
Get it right.
Travel Portland.
Uh-huh.
Both are destination marketing organizations that exist to drive travel demand. So I'm still within the same industry of tourism, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
What's the thing about destination tourism? Like, what's the tough part about it? Like, what's the most interesting? Like, what's it?
So, of course, during the pandemic, I would say that our industry was the most impacted when it comes to job loss. Because when you think about travel, you think about where you stay, how you're going to get there, what you're going to do when you get there, what you're going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So it has all these multifaceted like sectors that come together to create this travel and tourism economy. And I think everybody realized the impact when the restaurants closed, when attractions closed, when airports had limited flights because they no longer had staff, And so it's starting to come back. We are starting to see travel demand increase. I definitely noticed it when I was leaving Portland. I mean, it was 5 a.m. when I left, and it was a zoo.
Oh.
It was a zoo. Now,
granted,
good. Portland versus Grand Rapids, different size airport, different size market, but even prior to leaving, we saw the demand in Grand Rapids starting to increase, and you can no longer go to the airport 30 minutes before and expect to make your flight on time. But
it's so luxurious because for a long time you could.
absolutely, I think in some ways you can still do that in Grand Rapids, but
Depends on the time.
yeah, it depends on the time, and you definitely just need to be cautious because once those doors close, man. Have you ever had doors closed on you? Like trying to make a flight and they close those doors? They do not open them up for anybody.
Yes, I have.
Or any circumstance.
I
like,
know.
You are SOL.
I know that.
You know this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's something you just don't ever want to experience. And when you experience, you're like, I'm getting my ass there.
You're talking
on
about
time.
at the gate, right?
Yes,
yeah.
at the gate.
Yeah, I had
Exactly.
that happen to me one time. I was in Chicago or something like that, and I had like a weird connecting flight, and I was like jogging over to the gate, and I saw him close the door, and the plane was down there at the thing, and people are loading. I'm like, I'm here for my flight. And they're like,
Sorry.
you better go back to that counter and get them to rebook. I'm like, but they're like, no, if I open that door, I'm gonna get fired. It's like, no, you're not. Bet. I'll call my manager right now and see what they say. I was like, man, you sound like you really mean it.
It's no joke. I mean, when they say the doors
Can't open the door.
and they call your name, if you ever had your name called,
Yeah, I've
that's
had my
even-
name called a
That's
few
like more
times.
embarrassing, but I've missed a flight and I've never missed a flight again since then. So
I missed a few flights.
gotta
but I
get
was
it together, Spencer.
I always fly with Southwest, and you know what I found out is that they'll rebook you on the next one for free.
Oh, that's nice.
Always. It's like
I mean,
a policy.
Yeah. You can fly they book you. You don't
Yeah.
fly standby.
Mm-mm.
Yes, the Delta, you fly standby.
It's not even standby.
Yeah.
No, there was the first time I missed a flight. I was in traffic. I was in it was either L.A. or it was some California, L.A., San Francisco, San Diego, something like that. And I didn't fully realize how bad the traffic could get
Oh
out
my
there.
gosh, LA traffic is
I
horrible.
had no idea.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know.
Now you do.
Now I do. Yeah, I'm like, an hour to get there. That should be fine. It took like 2.5, 3, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, definitely missing this flight.
Yeah.
Then
In fact, I flew out of LA this week to come back to Grand Rapids because I was in Palm Springs for a conference. Yeah, Palm Springs is very nice. It's a very touristy city, and I think their tourist season ends like at the end of April.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They have a lot of
Gets hot.
visitors. Oh God, yes it does. But they get a lot of their visitors from Canada, and where else did I hear? Maybe Colorado. But nevertheless, it's a gorgeous city, beautiful weather right now. But even while I was there, it was upwards to 98. You can feel the heat. So just imagine the summers being really unbearable. But I drove into LA because it was much cheaper to fly out of LA than it was out of Palm Springs, just because they are a regional airport. So I gave myself plenty of time, but it still took me almost 3 hours to get to LA. That's how bad the traffic is. And they have like 15 lanes.
Yeah.
And there's still not enough space for all of these cars that drive like mad men and women. I mean, like
People.
mad people. I know.
Doesn't have the ring to it, does it?
No, it doesn't. They
All
drive
those
like,
mad people.
yeah, it was crazy. They were like driving up on me. You could definitely tell I was not from California.
Oh, yeah.
So,
You honking at everybody or everybody honking at you?
mostly them honking at me, or just like riding up on my tail, and then all of a sudden, like
NASCAR?
peeling around me. Yeah.
Like drafting you?
Yeah, I didn't have anywhere to go. Like I didn't have any, I was taking my time. I was driving the speed limit. I was nervous and anxious because I was trying to follow the GPS on my phone. That's not a place that you want to talk or text.
I think it's illegal.
It may be, and it should. And I can see why. Like, you're driving in Michigan, you might be able to respond to a text, but no. I do not encourage it. You really need to keep your eyes on the road, because the crazy thing is you can be going 70 miles, which is, I think, the speed limit. I think I wasn't really paying attention, but let's say 70 miles, and then all of a sudden you come to a stop.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you got to really pay attention, because they have these stop and go moments on their highway. So
I like the sounds of that. And then you get to the point where you get to speed back up and it was nothing. Always.
Exactly,
Yeah.
always. And then if you don't have another person in the car with you, you can't drive the HOV lane. So, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there were people driving it. They just can get away with the law. I mean, they can probably break the rules if they are from there, and they just know
They know how they work.
they know how to manipulate that system. But
Speaking
me-
of rules and manipulating and breaking rules, you got any good stories about breaking rules?
I am a rule follower. What are you
Okay,
talking about,
okay,
Spencer?
okay. Well, do you have any good stories about sticking to the rules when you don't want to?
I mean, in general, I'm afraid of going to jail.
Oh, are you?
I am. I'm a good girl, Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let's see. I think the worst you can find me doing is probably going over the speed limit.
Okay.
I have
That's
a pretty
not so
heavy.
bad.
I have a heavy foot, so like I said, in Michigan, I can drive 80, 85 sometimes. But you kind of know where the police are sitting on the highway. And in West Michigan, you know, as you pass Lansing, if you're coming home west, there's not a lot of cop cars. But it seems like when you go east and past Lansing, that's when you see a lot. There,
They
interesting
looking.
discrepancy there. But yeah, I would say speeding.
Oh, we don't have to like go down the line.
Go through my
you're
checklist of breaking rules. Yeah, that's probably about the worst you're gonna see me do.
What about sticking to the rules? What about any like good stories where you're like, oh, I don't do this. It's the
That's
rules.
so boring.
I
That would make. I don't know if your followers would like me then. They're like, oh, she's such a square. Jeez. I mean, that's life. I stick to the rules as much as I can. You know,
I
there's
like
some
breaking
great.
rules.
There's
I
some
love
gray
breaking
areas.
rules.
I can see that. You've been breaking rules since you came out of the.
Yeah, I've been breaking.
Oh, you came out the womb. Yeah, I can see that. We need to have your mom on the show. That's what it sounds like.
We definitely don't
No.
need to do that. My mom's a teacher.
Is she? Oh, so she's a real
Yeah.
follower, isn't
Yeah.
she?
Yep.
Yeah, I come from a family of educators as well.
Oh,
So
do you?
mother, my brother, my dad. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
While I didn't find myself in that career,
Mm-hmm.
I still find myself educating or like teaching people, especially young people. I do like young people. I do have an affinity to want to educate or provide wisdom as much as I have to provide, and you know, hope that they don't stumble in areas in life where they don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to share life lessons. And you know what age I really like sharing lessons with is kind of the college, that collegiate.
Young 20s.
Yeah, because I
traditionally.
think I realized that as much as we think we know everything at that age, we know nothing. You know, I'm going back in my memory bank and can definitely think of times where I thought I had it all together, and you know, so my younger self would ask my older self, yes, for help now. I didn't think I needed it then, right? You kind of have life figured out. You're on your own. You're not going to do or repeat the things that your parents did because, of course, you know, they don't know any better.
Yeah. Different times.
Yes, but then you get 10, 15 years of wisdom outside of that college space, and you're like, oh, yeah, I was stupid. Or, you know, just real, not stupid. Some people might think that's a little harsh. I was just unaware.
Yeah.
I was not informed. I was not as mature. But at the same time, for my age, like, I think during that time, I still think I made a lot of mature choices and good choices. Otherwise, I don't feel like I'd be here. So would I change anything? No, not radically, but like I would reconsider my approach to some of the choices that I've made.
Okay. Like, what's some good advice that you have for young people then?
Oh, communication.
Oh, I've been hearing a lot. That's been,
how to build mutual trust and respect with friends or
Through communication,
through
you mean?
communication, right? You know, learning to be honest with yourself allows you to be honest with others.
Mm-hmm.
And
Convenient lies and harsh truths. That was Mark Holzbeck's line. It banish convenient lies and accept harsh truths.
that's hard.
that
And
was
it's
his line.
hard.
Ooh.
It's hard to do that now.
I know it.
But the sooner that you can learn that, I think it makes it easier for you to have those or accept the hard truths or deliver the hard truths. And you always hear it's not what you say, but how you say it.
How you make somebody feel.
And how you make people feel,
Yeah.
right? Still making them feel valued or feel seen without feeling punished by your words or attacked with your words. Because I think that people want honesty. They want the honest feedback. They don't want to be lied to, because if you don't tell them, somebody else is. And so if you're a friend, if you're a real friend to someone, you'll share that, but in a way that they can hear it and not reject it.
Somebody told me once that if you're giving somebody, like, if you're gonna say something that you don't think that the other party wants to hear or isn't gonna receive well or something, you've got about 2 sentences.
I don't know what those are.
Just the first 2 sentences is
okay.
about all they're gonna hear before they put that wall up or put the guard up. Or
So do you think saying, you may not want to hear this, but I want to share some honest feedback with you, like prefacing it with that I'm going to share some honest feedback with you, and take a moment to process and receive it. And if you don't agree, that's fine. But I'm just sharing a perspective that you may not be able to see on your own.
yeah,
Like that setup,
that's good setup.
does that make you feel like, okay? all
Well,
right,
it
I'm about
depends
to-
on the person, right? If
Yeah.
you were coming to me with that kind of setup, I'd be like, oh shit, I better sit down.
Well, what I also heard too is that if you don't have a relationship with that person,
Yeah.
then you're probably not the one to deliver the harsh truth.
Oh, that's
It's
good.
it's probably not in your best interest to deliver that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think relationship does matter when you're trying to deliver those harsh truths.
Yeah, I guess in my mind, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about like a tough case or something, like a parent, for instance, or like maybe a child or somebody that you're just
Well, that's
always...
a relationship. It's a parent-child relationship, and I think that parents need to be honest with their kids.
Yeah.
Because they're going to definitely emulate the way that their parents communicated with them with their own children or with others.
Yeah.
You kind of definitely mock what you see done.
Yeah. I heard somebody say that your internal voice is basically like talk nice to your kids because their internal voice is going to be your voice. Essentially, like the dialogue that you have going on in your head is kind of like formed by your parents in those early years. So if they're very like harsh and critical with you, then you'll probably be, not you, one would be harsh and critical with themselves versus like...
Yeah, that could be a general, that's definitely a sweeping general
Oh, yeah.
statement or observation. Because I think about my dad, he definitely gave tough love.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not...
You know, tough love and the...
Not the way that he tough loved us. I can hear him in my... I can hear. I do have the... So I think that might be true. Like, I certainly can internalize my father's voice and the energy that he put behind his tone, especially when we were in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you did get in trouble.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
But it was for little silly stuff.
Yeah.
I remember one time, okay, I know we're going down a rabbit hole, but we'll bring it back
Yeah,
to
that's all right.
the topic at hand. I remember sitting in the van coming home from church. It was Easter Sunday. Had this beautiful dress on. I want to say it was like a very light yellow, frilly dress. And I don't know where in the hell I got scissors from.
Oh, go on.
But
How old were you?
It it wasn't teens, so like
just
tweens.
shy or something. Yeah, 11, 12, something like that. Yeah.
And I don't know, like I said, where I got these scissors from, but all I know is that I'm cutting my dress.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Angela, where did you get scissors from now that I'm thinking about it? But I'm cutting my dress and
Customizing it.
my maybe I was in my mind thinking I was a fashion designer, perhaps. But I'm sitting in the back of the van, and my dad looks back and sees me performing surgery on my dress, and oh, was he hot. So hot.
On the way to church, right?
No, this was on the way home.
Back. Oh, okay.
This was
So
on
that's
the way
not
home. So not as bad, but still bad enough. And all I can remember is him saying, when you get in the house, go to your room and do not come out. But the way he said it, I'm saying very calmly, you all. For those who know my father, go in the room and don't come out. And I will meet you in there.
In only a way a father could say.
Yes, and my parents did believe in spare the rod, spoil the child.
Corporal punishment.
They definitely did not spare the rod. The rod.
And there goes your fashion designing career. Man, oh man.
Yeah, so I feel like he could have definitely talked to me and said, you had this beautiful dress. Now, why would you cut it up? Like, understand where I was coming from and why I decided that I needed to cut it. And how did I get scissors in the first place? It was his fault, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would you have scissors at my disposal?
Probably in that pocket behind the van seat. Those things had everything in them.
Oh, gosh, that van. That was good times in that van.
Everybody had a van. Man, those things.
Yeah.
Was it a Dodge or a Plymouth? Do you remember?
I think it was a Dodge. It was like this
Dodge
big
Caravan.
gray utility van.
Oh, you all had the real one.
Well, it was a Caravan, and he later turned it into a utility van. He took all the seats out and used it for his business. But yeah, it had the seats removable, second row, and
neat. What was your dad's business? What was he doing?
Oh, he had an interior design company. So look,
come on now.
Right? No,
that's why he had the scissors in there. He's cutting wallpaper.
That could have been why. It was so long ago,
yeah.
But he installed, and still to this day installs like custom window treatments.
Oh, neat.
And he has installed carpet and all these things. So
I do a little bit of that myself.
Interior decorator. He sold wallpaper. He didn't install it, but he had an installer. Yeah, my dad is definitely an entrepreneur, hustler, which is probably where I got a little bit of my entrepreneurial gene.
Yeah, and I saw that a lot from you with your Caribbean jam.
My Caribbean summer jam, or just my events in general.
Maybe we should circle back on the communication before we get too far down the road.
Sure.
So let's see. What's another good communication kind of like tidbit to share with people before we... Because what you were saying with your parent, like what he could have said was, what you doing? What's all that about? Instead of just jumping right, especially on Easter Sunday.
I know. It went from here to here. What they say, 0 to 100 real quick.
Real quick.
Yeah, I think just communicating is so critical for every aspect of life, for your professional, personal. I really do.
Now, what about the medium?
What's the happy
I don't
medium?
mean to interrupt you. Were you gonna? What were you?
What do you mean? Like
text. So I had a conflict with my son the other day over text, and I was like, look, I am not gonna argue with you. Yeah. You're gonna call me on the phone, and we can argue on the phone if you want, but I'm not doing it over text. Mom, I don't need to call you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, you most definitely do if you want what you're trying to get.
This is the sweet little boy that I've seen. Oh,
He was the first time he ever got mad at me. Not too long ago.
I'm sorry.
Don't be
I think
sorry.
you did the right thing, though.
And I'm standing on it. It's like...
I think we're at this intersection of generations that are used to communicating differently.
Yeah.
And so I definitely prefer phone, voice to voice, in person if possible.
Yeah.
Text is a convenience for me. I really hate texting now. Like, I use it as a tool to really just communicate like simple actions, but I definitely prefer talking to someone, even in the dating, or courting phase, I will tell someone, hey, just give me a call when you get a moment. Like, if this is not a good time for you, I'll be available this time. Because to hold an entire conversation, one, it's time consuming, especially if you are trying to concentrate on other tasks. And then it kind of carves out a time that you can talk. And I get people are heated in a moment, they want to take care of it, but still, I'd rather you pick up the phone, because sometimes I think tone is definitely taken out of context. If people tend to text with all caps, or I don't know why people do that.
Super aggressive.
Yeah, or all emojis. They're like, what the hell is this supposed to say? What is this statement? When
hieroglyphics, you got to decode it, figure out what
that's too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Or people shorten their messages. So if someone just gives you a thumbs up, and that's supposed to mean okay, and you're like, it seems very passive aggressive almost.
Yeah, that's I completely agree. The novelty of it has worn off for me.
Yeah.
Like, let's not forget, this isn't like normal life. iPhone revolutionized texting just like 5 or 6 years ago, and it was like, oh wow, this is super cool. And now it's just kind of like, I'm back to normal.
I have so many recommendations for them too, but that's another
on their text game.
Oh yeah, and I mean,
like
okay, just one super quick one.
Yeah, I want to hear one.
So if you're like me, you may have let's say more than 20 unread messages. Until recently, I did discover on iPhone that you can select all your messages and
mark as read. Edit.
However, I still have 20 unread messages. I'm not sure why it's not going back far enough. But what I would really like for iPhone to do is for you to be able to filter and see your unread messages.
Oh yeah, I know what it means.
Right?
Yeah. They have no tools in the message program at all.
None. Now, this is where your droid friends will get on your nerves.
Can they do it?
I think that they're able to do it. Doesn't mean I'm converting, but it would be nice to have that filter feature. And I think it also would be nice to search on your text, just like you can't.
I think you can do that. You just got to scroll all the way to the top.
Okay, perhaps you can. You're right.
Yeah. But then I think, like, with my emails, it'd be super nice to be able to hit, like, a flag, like, respond to this tomorrow, or, like, remind me tomorrow, or, like, because either it's read or it's unread.
That's true.
And it's like, I might need to do something with that thing, and they just, read, down the chain it goes.
Yes. How did we get to this topic? But
Communication.
But you're right. And I think that with that said, being able to flag it would be great, because oftentimes you are busy, you're working, and I think people expect an instant response from you just because they text you versus emailed or called you or left a voicemail. So it's like this instant gratification that people come to expect. And I'm like, well, I know you text me, but I saw it and I just wasn't able to give you the answer in that moment because my hands weren't free, or your request takes more than a simple yes or no answer. So
yeah, the whole thing of like being able to send somebody either a question or information or whatever without consent. You know, you just basically you can send anybody anything now. It used to be you had to pick up the phone.
Oh yes.
Or they had to leave a message on the voicemail. You know, nowadays it's just like, you just do whatever you want. Send. It's a mess.
I do not put my read receipts on those.
Oh, I don't either. No, that's a whole. I'm shocked anybody does. Frankly, it's like I don't know.
But there are people who do it.
Then you're gonna let me know you left me unread? Is that what you're saying? Okay, that's fine.
That's
I
a
guess.
red flag. I don't know. Those are toxic people.
One of the best things that's happened to me with all this like weirdness going on in the world is, you know, moving back to South Haven, and then all of my friends call me on the phone. Because they're all old school.
Well, you also.
I didn't have a phone for a couple years at all.
You just got one.
I did.
Look at you.
I'm back in
Coming into
digital.
the new age. I just realized that.
Yeah, I was phoneless for like 2 years.
Did you feel liberated?
I did. It felt amazing. I mean, I was still in communication with everybody. It's just that I didn't have a cell phone. So if I'm out,
you can't respond as quickly.
Can't respond.
which is fine.
There's like 3 or 4 times in 2 years that it was really inconvenient. And even the times that it was really inconvenient, I guess I shouldn't say it was really inconvenient because it wasn't. It was just like I needed to interact with people. Like there was one time I got lost and I didn't have a GPS and I'm in the country, so all the roads are gridded. So it's not like I was super lost because they all have like numbers.
Okay.
And I had to stop and ask somebody for directions. Ooh. Oh.
You had to speak to somebody.
It's so bad.
You had to use your interpersonal skills.
I know. And then I got there and I was just like, oh yeah, I couldn't find my. Well, if you would get a cell phone, it's like, well, if I had a cell phone, I wouldn't have had to talk to those people. No, they were nice. They were nice to me. I met them.
You met new friends.
Yeah.
It's like the Girl Scout. I don't know if it's a song. Make new friends, keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold.
Ooh.
The circle is round and has no end. That's how long I want to be your friend.
Oh,
what?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I love that. That's
gold and silver.
Mm-hmm.
That's really sweet. There's nothing like a good, solid friendship, that just makes most people's lives, I think.
Yeah, I would say I'm a person that says I don't have a lot of friends, but yet I do when I think about it. Like, I consider you a friend, and I feel like we don't talk often.
Right.
But when we do,
it's nice.
It's like we haven't skipped a beat, right?
Yeah.
And we just pick up where we left off maybe a year ago.
That's what it is.
And then we just, I don't know, we catch up, and then we see each other another 6 to 9 to 12 months later, and it's like no time has gone by. So.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good friendship. Like, that's a good model, and then I have my very, very close friends that I keep in touch with.
Yeah.
Often.
The constant communication kind of folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's everybody, really.
Yeah.
Or at least I hope it's everybody. Like.
I don't think everybody has friends, though. Not everybody.
Ooh. It took me a while to make. I naturally made friends, but then I had this kind of right when I had my son, because I was young. I was 21. From 21 to I'd say 27 or 28, 29, something in there, 30 maybe even. It was I was really busy, and I didn't feel like I had a lot of time for friendships, and I had a couple old school friends, but then they weren't in my life very much, and I felt like I was having trouble making friends, especially being in Grand Rapids and stuff.
Well, yeah, new place. So let's talk about that, because I'm in Portland now.
Yeah.
And it is hard.
Yeah.
To build community or start all over. I think I'm a friendly person, and I think I am outgoing enough and personable enough to start a conversation and certainly spark a friendship with people. But how I define friends now, I think is different than what I did when I was in my 20s. There is a song that says "No New Friends."
Yeah,
it's
Drake.
And so it's not that I don't want new friends. It's that friendships to me are very coveted, and with true friends, you do share. If they're that type of friend where you share your deep feelings, or they know your secrets, you don't want to tell everybody or have that kind of wide circle of trust. Usually it's a small circle. And I think as I get older, I just don't have the energy to put into making new friendships. So I value the ones that I already have and try to maintain those, because they are important to me, even if you're not a best friend or an acquaintance, right? I try to show up in the way that I want people to show up for me. Now, I believe there was a time where it was disproportionate, I think I gave of myself to the point where I believe I was exhausting. I was exhausting myself. But you then have to kind of peel back or pull back. And so I did that. I don't think it's made me less of a friend, but it's called, I guess, creating boundaries, just
yeah,
trying to set those boundaries. So yeah, moving to Portland has been Very interesting, very enlightening. I used it as my reset as well because I was so busy here
Mm-hmm.
up until the pandemic. That's a whole nother
Yeah,
situation. I think that slowed us all down, but I took the opportunity. One, the opportunity was great. It's still in the tourism industry, great promotion,
bigger market.
bigger market, just a lot of pluses. You know, there are some, if I had to like create a list of pros and cons, there were some cons, but I also like a good challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, the opportunity was right. And I took it. I'm there. I've been there 6 months. And as far as meeting new people, I am just starting to do that. I think people underestimate moving. I know I certainly did.
Mm-hmm.
And the all that comes with relocating to a new place, right? You know, you think it's as simple as, oh, I got to find a place. I got my job if you are relocating for a job. So you have your job, you just got to find a place and find great places to eat and kick it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the challenge in its own. But I think building community is so important, and you don't know what you have until it's gone sometimes. And so I had great community here. I still have great community here in Grand Rapids. Let me
Walk that
correct.
back a
Yeah,
little
let me
bit.
walk that back because I think there's still a great community that I have here in Grand Rapids. I mean, literally, I feel like half of my time is still spent in Michigan when it comes to communicating with friends and family and colleagues, community members about issues. People still, no lie, I still get calls from people here to ask me to hook them up with event tickets and things of that nature. And I'm like, geez, I'm not a magician, but sure, I'll give so and so a call and hope that they'll oblige me, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they'll say, oh yeah, Angela, you know, I'll do what I can. And recently that was what happened. So I was kind of shocked because sometimes when you leave a space, people tend to kind of forget you and just write you off.
Can be.
It could be that way. But I think that goes back to building relationships and how you treat people. And so I've done I've been really intentional about the type of legacy or reputation that I want to create for myself. So my name is my reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been very intentional about the type of person I want people to come to know me as. And so I think that was what happened in that situation, why I was able to go to that ED and say, hey, I know you have an event, it's sold out, but if you have any extra seats or cancellations, you know, would you mind helping this friend out? And that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just.
And it worked out.
It worked out, but I think, again, because of all the work that I've done here, either with Experience Grand Rapids or Amway or even Mercantile, coming out of Grand Valley. And so I hope to be able to do the same in Portland. Portland's history is similar to most cities that have indigenous populations that have been displaced. So, you know, gentrification
Ooh,
to
yeah.
a lot of social issues, homelessness, crime. So I think every city bears those issues, just to what extent. And Portland certainly has its challenges more with homelessness and some crime that has been happening lately. But same game, same,
Yeah.
you know, same
Same dance. Different song kind of thing.
different city, absolutely. Yeah. But I'm loving it. I'm slowly but surely, I know that I will have, it doesn't have to be the same, but I know that I will build community there in a way that will support the work that I'm doing, and it will be mutual.
Mm-hmm.
Because I definitely don't want to be seen as like a taker and not give back to the community that is helping me in my endeavors. So.
Yeah, when I think of like friends and community, I've kind of like over time developed these labels. Like,
Like what?
well, I've got friends, I've got acquaintances, I've got good acquaintances, loose acquaintances, drinking buddies, you know, and then strangers. I guess it's about, but there's like a hierarchy. You know, it goes like stranger, stranger danger. Really want to hang out? No. Then there's like drinking buddies, and that's just like going out and doing stuff, but there's never any like deep conversation. Okay. It's just like, what are you up to right now? Like, look over there, look over there, look over there, look over there, you know, blah, drink, party. And then there's like, then I'd say there's friends, which is like, that can be a lot of different things. That can be like grade school friends, or like people I grew up nearby, or like people that they're never going anywhere. Those are my friends.
But they've shaped who you are because they've been part of your life at one point. Yeah.
And then I've got buddies, and my buddies are usually like newer friends, I guess. And then we go do stuff. But then there's also like chatter, and there's also like catching up and like advice and like, you know, like sharing. And acquaintances are like, you know, like for me anyway, it's like a warm feeling, but also like it's not, it's like a, I don't know exactly, but those are my labels. And the reason why I came up with them is because like, well, I caught myself a while back. I'd be like, my friend this, my friend that, my friend this, my friend that. And they're like...
So do you be like, now, yeah, my acquaintance?
No.
Oh.
No. It's just in my own mind.
Okay.
It's just in my own mind.
You
or if
know
I'm
what
like...
level of friendship they are to. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Friend levels, because like...
So so on one hand, how many friends...
Like old school?
Like... A1 since day one friends?
3.
Okay.
3, and then there's that's like the core, and then I've got family. Family's like, that's not included. Yeah. But then there's like, that's like the core, right. And then the second ring's probably like 5 or so.
I have some friends that I'm closer to than family members.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm saying, but so like I'd want to like a moon to the, you know, the core kind of thing.
The moon to the sun, or
well, yeah. I mean, I've got a small handful of people I talk to almost every day, or just about, or I know what's going on, like almost constant communication.
I'm gonna put you on the spot now. So let's see, given your levels of friendship, where do I fall?
I would say you're a friend.
You would?
Old school, yeah. Okay. Because we go back so far.
We do.
If there was...
I wouldn't have been mad if you said acquaintance.
No, if there was more communication, I'd call you a buddy.
Okay.
But I'd say friend. Acquaintance can turn into friend. You started out as an acquaintance, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would say, because you were describing that, and I was trying to think, okay, what is an acquaintance to me? Someone that I believe I have a good relationship with, but they're not in my inner circle.
Right.
And yet I can call them. It's probably more on that kind of professional tip. There's a lot of community engagement. Yes, I'm familiar with who you are. You're familiar with who I am, but you don't know me.
Right.
And I'm probably not going to ever let you get into that know me space, because believe it or not, I'm a very private person. And so, yes.
With the details.
Yeah. I don't share details. People will want to think that they know you based on your social media presence or what they've even heard. But I feel like if you haven't heard it from me, then it's not true.
Yeah.
It's just a rumor and a lie, if not a rumor. But yeah, speaking of social media, I don't know if you realize I've been off now for a minute.
How's that feel?
That feels liberating. Now, I will admit, I lurk a few days out of the week. but I do not engage.
How long has it been?
So since the beginning of the year, and I said I was going to do it
All right.
until the end of the
Months?
year.
Ooh,
No,
a full year.
for a full year. Yeah, I did it, with Instagram, Facebook. I do have Twitter. If you see me on Twitter, which I'm pretty sure you don't,
I don't see anybody on Twitter.
It's because I have like this. It's more like a bot that posts to my Twitter. It's like it's at my It might be my Zodiac. It might be a Zodiac app that I had attached to. So it gives like a today's
Horoscope?
Yeah, a horoscope.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word, but yeah. So I think it does like a daily horoscope.
Oh, my Zodiac. That makes sense.
But that's an auto post, so it's not really me engaging.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just decided that, you know what, I'm gonna take a year off of social media, and that I am going to take this opportunity to connect deeper with people that I care about, whether I consider you a friend or acquaintance. I just felt like I was consuming too much time on social media, and quite frankly, getting a little bit of that kind of comparison syndrome, even though I know I've done exceptionally well in my own right, you do start to look at what other people are accomplishing, and you're wondering if you're doing enough. Have you done it soon enough? And I just wanted to take a break from that and just kind of
hustle.
Just kind of give my mind a break, and my heart, like give myself some grace, right?
Yeah.
And then connect, like I said, deeper with folks that I do care about. So I ask people to send me their address, they're postable, and I've sent birthday cards, just communicating. I've called family members more often, like extended family members. I've picked up the phone, because being in Portland, I can't say I have a lot of things to do other than work. I'm starting to pick up, and I'm starting to get out there a little bit more. But I have time on my hands, so why not call people versus texting them or posting kind of ingenuinely on Facebook posts, hey, congrats, with all the other hundreds of comments. And so to really care about where people are or what they're up, what they're doing, I want to call them and say, congratulations, I saw or I heard that you did X, Y, and Z. And I think that to me just means a lot more.
Yeah, when I would agree with you. When I took my little cell phone break, obviously, like I didn't give up social media altogether. I had an iPad still, so I'd have my little apps on there.
I remember we
Instant Messenger, and
we watched our movie.
Yep. And like it wasn't mobile. I couldn't take it with me anywhere I went. So like it had like a container almost.
Okay.
Like almost like an answering machine in the sense, like it had to stay at home. There's no cell signal on the iPad. Eventually I got like a hot box, so I could listen to music in the car, but it had to stay at home. So when I left, I was completely free. I didn't have social media to check in with. I didn't have a cell phone. There was no chance anybody could get a hold of me. I was just doing whatever I was
16
doing.
16 years old.
It was amazing. I'd be out at the bar still, and like I'd look around and I'd see everybody with their phone. I didn't have the option, and I'd just be like,
hey,
here I am.
I'm here.
I'm just
you
chilling.
Can talk to me.
Yeah, it's kind of what it is, and like out with friends and whatnot, and they'd be checking their phone and looking at this and looking at that, and I wouldn't have it. And it I think I might just, be biased or whatever, but it seemed like it helped other people kind of like lose track of it as well too.
Pass the time, you mean?
Just like it wasn't that mirroring. There was no mirroring involved. It wasn't like I was checking my phone and then they'd check theirs. And it was just like they'd check theirs and I'd just be staring at them, waiting for them to be done. And they'd be like, okay, I'll put it away.
It's addictive.
It's
they
super
say,
addictive.
So just like a dopamine, right?
And it's super addictive.
Even though I've pulled back with my engagement, I don't share, post, comment, like anything.
You're full.
I'm full off. However, like I said, I do lurk sometime, and I think it's, almost like going cold turkey. You really can't do
Yeah,
to that extent. So, thankfully to iPhone, you can set a limit.
Oh yeah.
On your apps, and so when I reach that limit, it'll say time's up. Now you can extend it, but to me, that's at least my way of saying, okay, you got your fix, Angela.
Yeah.
Now go back to focusing on what you need to focus on.
Yeah.
And so I realized how much time I wasted in that space before. So yeah, I love being able to just go on maybe 5-10 minutes. I think what has really caught my attention is TikTok these days, so so than Facebook or Instagram. But
did you hear that conspiracy theory about TikTok? About how it's a Chinese company. TikTok. Yeah, that's not the conspiracy.
Okay.
That's true. The conspiracy theory is that China being they, promote like STEM type stuff to people in their kind of IP range. So like engineering hacks, or like how to build this or how to build that, or like chemistry or stuff like that. In if you have a Chinese IP address, and then in like the US or Australia or wherever, they promote dancing. And
so we're getting dumber while they're getting smarter, basically.
That's the conspiracy theory. Yeah, that they're promoting entertainment to us, like, you know, and over in their country, it's all like hardcore.
So we're not entertaining them; we're entertaining ourselves because they're not getting our content. Possibly.
Yeah, it's just a conspiracy theory. It's not. I have no idea.
Oh.
But I don't have TikTok. I do know that.
You don't? Okay.
No. That's been an issue with my son too. He's like, "You should get TikTok. It's great." Oh, I'm not doing it.
No, not
doing
yet,
it.
Right?
Not another one. I don't need another one.
It's a lot. I have an account, obviously, to be able to watch. I think I have like 3 posts.
Oh, do you?
That I've attempted to do.
It's like the number one, I think, now, isn't it?
A lot of people are involving their children, so it becomes like, you know, a bonding opportunity. I've seen, people dancing with their children,
and you can make money on it. It's like there's a money pool thing where you get like,
there's a monetizing opportunity, as it is with all the other social media. And some people are really good at just leveraging that, and others like myself are not. I've thought about it, but I'm just not willing to put in the time. When you pull back this much and you realize like how much time that you could be spending on there, I'm content with what I'm not doing or what I'm doing, you know, with my time now.
Are you like picking up new hobbies? Are you reading? Like, what are you doing with the?
You know,
just nothing. Maybe it's fine too.
I should be reading more. I have a wonderful bookshelf with lots of books on it. Would love to start.
Good library is half unread.
Yeah, I think the books on tape is where people are going most of these days. Podcasts, such as the Spencer Covey show. So
what
clever.
You gonna name it? I'm gonna name it after myself.
As you should.
Why not?
What other hobbies? No, there are some things that I want to do, but I have not done. Honestly,
clothing design, perhaps.
No, I'm gonna leave that for all of the ones that can do it much better than me. I don't even know what I was cutting into my dress to make. It was just bad altogether.
You know, practice makes perfect.
I really want to start cooking more, cooking
okay.
healthier. So I'd like to either just, I don't necessarily need to create any dish, but just like cook more.
The meal prep, like that kind of thing?
No, just straight up cooking dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard I was doing some human-centered design research.
Okay, that's your thing.
On like really high-performing people, and one of the things that showed up is that cooking is like a very ubiquitous hobby, and the reason why is because people don't feel guilty for spending as much time as they want on it.
I can see that, and it's a source of creativity. Because even though you are recreating someone's dish, even though it may look the same and it may not necessarily taste the same, and so I think it gives you your own unique creative vibe with your dish. you can always obviously alter it. If it's a meat dish, you can make it vegetarian. So I just need a new pot set.
For real? That's it? That's all you need?
I need a new set of pots. Yes, I've been carrying around the same set for a while. So
You can get some nice ones?
I'm going to invest in some new cookware, and let's see. I recently got an air fryer for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And
those things are incredible.
a toaster oven. Definitely love my toaster oven.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit quicker for some of the smaller things if I'm just warming up a dish versus having to use
Pizza
the oven.
in the toaster oven is it.
I don't know, for some reason I feel like it's closer to the
Yeah.
to the little heat.
Yeah. Just put that mug on toast and it just, for pizza.
That sounds good. I've warmed up fries, and usually you don't rewarm fries, but you get one chance. I think you get one chance to rewarm fries.
Mm-hmm. You tried them in the air fryer though, rewarming them?
No,
because that works.
I have to try that. Yeah.
I think.
And then I'm gonna try these Brussels sprouts in the air fryer.
That's a good idea too.
To make the Brussels sprout chips, right?
People say chicken wings in the air fryer is just it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those are really good.
I think I tried it once, but I don't know.
Oh, making me hungry.
About that time. So let's see. Let's go back to the advice thing. I would assume that you have mentors in your life. A lot of mentors in your life.
I have a few. I just lost one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tragically, or?
He was a mentor to many. Floyd Wilson. I don't know if you knew him.
Not by name.
Not by name. Well, for those who are listening, Floyd Wilson passed away recently, and he was just a good guy. Just kind of, like one of those dudes. And that's how you could talk to him.
Right.
From Saginaw, smart. He went to Western, I think, to receive a degree.
Okay.
I think he graduated from Central. Maybe I've gotten a degree from Western. But anyway, long story short, he passed away about a month ago now, and it was sudden. I guess sudden to those who didn't know that maybe he was having some heart issues. So I just want to say to his family, I'm really sorry for your loss, and, I'm definitely keeping you all in my prayers, and just a good guy. He was the chair over at Experience Grand Rapids.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So he's our board chair there, and just a good mentor, and just always, like a good supporter of me and the work that I was doing, and always encouraging me, and just always would say, Angela, just keep it real, Angela, just keep it real. And, he's like, you got this. He was just really good guy. So, but yeah, other mentors I have, both men and women. I think it's important to have a good balance of both. And not just older than me. I have some of my mentees who I consider to be a mentor to me, because I think you can always learn something from someone no matter what age. I think we all have, our own source of wisdom. We all have our lived experiences, and we all come to the table with some type of wisdom that can be shared up or down or across, whatever. I have enough gray hairs to prove that I have some wisdom, but yeah, I get a lot of source of wisdom from my mentees as well.
So are the mentor/mentee relationships, are they formal? Do you say I am your mentor? Do people say I am your mentor? Or is it more kind of assumed?
No, I've had people ask me, and I've asked.
It.
Yep, I formalize it.
I mean,
because I think it's clear then that, when you claim them as your mentor,
yeah,
they know that you're their mentor.
Yeah. That's why I'm coming to you with all these questions, because you said it was okay.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
And it's been as formal as for me and my mentees, we've set up calls, and I've asked for them to come prepared with certain questions that they have for that particular conversation.
Oh, wow.
Just so that, we are both using our time wisely. There will be times where we can
just hash it out.
Yeah. And talk about whatever, but I feel like if there's an area of expertise that you feel as though I'm able to contribute to your growth, I want to be prepared to give some tools that you can consider. And most of them are informed by my own lived experiences. So what not to do, what to do, what to consider to do. So, and
Is that usually like corporate related, or is it just living life kind
mostly
of
professionally related.
professional kind of
And some of those professional conversations have end up turning, they do turn into personal conversations, whether it's about their relationships or their family members. As much as they want to share with me, and I keep that in confidence. And I think that's the key, is that they know that I'm going to keep our conversations in confidence, and there's a trust that's being built, and they honor that, and they honor the wisdom that I am sharing with them. And then some of them will come back and give updates. I'll ask, so how did that conversation go with your mentor, or your manager, especially if there's a specific situation at work that they're trying to tackle.
communication. Getting those keywords.
And the same with me and my mentors. But I think with me and my mentors, because I certainly have been able to get to a level within my career that I didn't think I would get to as soon as I did, but I have had very specific mentors to be able to navigate that space, because it is so true when they say that as you climb to the top, it gets lonelier up there. So be careful what you ask for.
I know.
For all of you that aspire to be mid-level managers, C-suite, managers, presidents, so on and so forth, it certainly does get lonelier as you get to the top. And finding someone that is in that same space or has been in that space longer than you, I think is so essential, because when you're trying to get up to that, you can talk to the person above you. But if you are at the top, it's like, okay, I have fears and doubts as well, but you can't let that be known to your...
Complaints can only go up.
Yeah.
You should never complain down.
Because then they'll look at you like,
ooh,
dude, why are you in this role?
Yep.
So
complaints got to go up.
You lose that kind of trust. And so I definitely have mentors for different things. And I know if you go to different conferences, people will talk about mentorship versus sponsorship, versus like having your own personal board of directors, which is kind of like your group of entrusted
like
confidants, that will help to guide you in your personal life. I don't have a sponsor.
What's a sponsor? What's that?
So
not like AA, I don't
No,
imagine.
like within your company. So if you are looking to...
like corporately appointed kind of mentor.
Someone in your company that's like that has been dedicated to championing you. So not only just mentoring you, so they don't just give you advice. They're actively being your advocate or internal champion when opportunities come along. So if there's a promotion and they had to advocate for you with your manager or other senior members, usually you want someone that is a few levels higher than you. But yeah, that person is going to sponsor and really help you navigate that chain or that upward movement within the company. And they're going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think you need that. And that goes back to communicating, right? Like people being able to share with you those harsh truths, and not escape or tell you the inconvenient lies. Don't inconveniently lie to me. Or conveniently lie or tell me that I'm doing a good job when I'm not doing a good job, because that's only going to hinder me if I am going to improve. Now, you got to be on the other end as the person receiving, and you also have to have the ability to receive that constructive feedback and take from it what you believe you can implement to create that change that you need. I won't say all feedback is good feedback. I'm not that person that subscribes, because I think
I heard a good one the other day. Only take advice from somebody you'd trade places with.
Oh, I haven't heard that, but that hit me in a way. That I'd only trade places with. I don't know if I completely agree, but I can see.
It's a good little saying.
Yeah, I can see the merit in that. Would I trade places with the President of the United States? Heck no.
Mm-mm.
Would I take advice from Biden? I don't know. President Biden, he might have some nuggets of wisdom. I'm sure he's seen and done a lot, but I wouldn't trade places with him. I definitely don't want that job.
That's interesting that's where your mind went, because that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely is like a counterpoint to it.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, it was like, if somebody's like gone on a string of bad financial decisions, don't take financial advice from them.
Oh, absolutely.
Or
yeah.
you name it. Some
in a string of bad relationships, yet they're over here trying to tell you how to fix yours.
Yeah. Let me tell you what you're doing wrong.
Like, sis, you're in your third marriage.
Okay.
I mean, I know you got experience, but
yeah, all in the wrong way.
I know you. Again, may not consider yourself to be the common denominator, but yeah.
People love projecting.
And have you ever,
myself included?
You know what? I was just gonna say, have you ever had to check yourself?
Oh yeah. Well, it's just human. There's some like tricks that the brain has. My brain, I think everybody's, frankly, that's just like you just have to. Like, for instance, like I think that this is pretty well known, but like whenever I find myself getting upset with somebody, I always have to look and be like, well, you have to keep in mind, Spencer, that's triggering something in you that you don't like. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no reason to get mad at somebody else, frankly. Like, probably because there's nothing you can do about it, and they're not, like, it's just wasted energy. So what is actually going through my mind? My mind is saying, like, hey, you're mad at this person, but that's the only way that you can see what you're doing wrong. And so if I'm going to be upset with somebody, I try
that's very mature of you
to check myself and be like, what is it about that I don't like
that's
in
very
myself?
Mature.
And then also, like, looking at people getting mad at me, the same is always true. Like, if somebody's furious at me,
like, whoa,
what are you doing right in your life that you're so mad at me? And I'll bet you the same is true too.
Yeah, I think that takes a lot of emotional intelligence to get to that space.
It's very difficult, but yeah, I feel like I'm better for it, Now,
I will say that as you get older, I say that, then I trip over my own words. You get better as you get older. You're more wiser. These are the things you hope for, that you're able to spot these type of situations and like have reflective moments and be like, okay, is this about me or is it about this person? That level of maturity, you start to tap into that and really change and like grow up. I really want to drop a couple F-bombs, but I'm like, I don't know if the podcast will allow that.
The podcast allows it.
Yeah, just grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
There's times in my life where I think everybody will run into the same kind of problem until you like kind of overcome it, however you say that. And there was one recently where I was just so proud of myself for not reacting, because there's so many times in my life where a younger Spencer would have just like, I like reacting. It's fun. It's like so tasty, like it's just.
But sometimes people react before they even realize that they've gotten to 10, and you're like,
yeah. All
that energy you just put into doing that, you could have used it for something different. But
yeah, and like now that I'm a little bit older and I can get to the point of like, I feel like conquering some of those challenges, that I pat myself on the back and I'm just like, nice job
Good for you.
So what's the rest of this trip entail for you? You got any fun things you're gonna do in Grand Rapids before you go back? Anything super great?
So I'm just visiting this weekend with my loved one, with my partner, and spending some time with him, and
that'll be nice.
Checking in with a few other friends, some of my sorority members, some activities we have this weekend, and yeah, otherwise, I'm working still, so working remotely, so trying to just balance all of that, but it's always good to pop into Grand Rapids. This is my I think, my fourth visit back
Yeah.
since I've moved. So it's still
Keeping
standing
the
and
home fires burning, as they say.
yeah, trying to keep my pulse on the city and check in to just see how things are going. Yeah, no.
I always tell my son you got to leave on a win.
Okay.
Well, it's usually sports related, but
Oh goodness.
what about like
The championship. Let's see.
what about here? I've got one. Do you like clearly remember a time when either like a mentor or a mentee like asked you a really good question and what it was?
No, I don't.
Do you remember like the best piece of advice you provided to somebody asking for advice?
I'm just trying to see how great my brain is going to work in the next 10 seconds to come up with it. The greatest piece of advice that I have received has probably been with time management.
Okay.
And that has been with regards to how I schedule
Your day.
my outside appointments. So I leave 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, for outside meetings with community members or, colleagues within the industry, any outside meetings. It just kind of allows me to get the work done because you create so much work sometimes either in those conversations or other things that come up during the week. And so I have learned to limit my time. And I say that was the best advice, especially when I took on the role of experienced GR, because a lot of people do want your time. They want you. They are clamoring to get to you somehow, right? To either consider an opportunity to just run something by you. And so I started to lose control of my own ability to like manage my time and manage the responsibilities and the things that I needed to actually accomplish. So, a good, I wouldn't call her an official mentor, but someone that I look up to was like, look, you need to create some boundaries with your time. So I suggest that you set days that you are available to take meetings outside of the office. And so I have carried that through to this new role.
That is great advice.
Yeah, I mean it's a functional kind of utility that you can keep in your toolkit. And I love Calendly. I know they're not paying us for that.
Not yet.
For that pitch, but I use that to manage my calendar and
when people can just like log in and schedule it. Yeah.
Because you can block off times that you want people to schedule times with you or not, and so
there was that really good book written not too long. I think it was like Steven Pinkner or something. And the title was Time, and how like during your day, like making a conscious effort to like schedule the tough stuff first.
I know. Instead of, I do such the opposite though. I try to like get all the small things, and then I'm left in the middle of the day like, oh my gosh, this is such, a heavy task. But I think other than that though, and this is just to me kind of a cliche, probably overused advice, but really do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I really practice that because I don't like people to shit on me.
Yeah, same.
So I really do. I try to practice treating people the way that I want them to treat me. And I shouldn't even say try. I do. And that's even with people that I've had to let go. Right? So kind of move beyond that passive aggressive stage of life and just tell people how you feel. And that goes back to the communication. But really treating people the way that I want them to treat me and showing them how to treat me by treating them the way that I want to be treated. So
yeah, that's important.
And that's with respect and decency and honor. So yeah.
On that note, thank you for joining us. I know you've got a busy day ahead of you, so.
Yes, well, thank you for having me, friend.
You're welcome, friend.
I wish you all the best with your future podcast guest and all that you're doing, and just appreciate you having me on.
Thanks. Thanks. It's been great.
Yeah. Yay! Woo!